Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to watch a Tamil movie called ATHOMUGAM. Two couples were staying at Ooty. Martin and Leena. Today their wedding anniversary. At the beginning of the movie, the hero Martin and his wife Leena are shown. She turns off the alarm and goes to the kitchen to make tea. Leena sees a note from there. Martin had prepared a surprise gift for her. It was a clue to get to that. He was taking a video from there and doing everything she found that clue. Still, Leena solves all the clues and opens the gift at the end. Because there is another gift there instead of the gift he kept. Leena had changed the surprise gift he had kept for her already. Here is the gift for him. Martin is surprised because he had prepared all this after she fell asleep. He didn't even sleep well at night. He had slept for just 2 hours. When did you wake up and keep this gift? I didn't even hear a sound, he asks. She said she woke up at 4 o'clock to drink water, and when she went to the kitchen, she had already seen your note there. So I found your gift and kept the gift I had kept for you instead. Before this, when you try to give a surprise next time, you find it and surprise me. When he asks you how you can do all this, if you think someone doesn't know a thing, we do it with so much attention. When he goes to work saying that I will really surprise you next time. Martin worked in an estate there. It was his friend Paul's estate. Paul had a 3,000-acre estate in Assam, not just here. That's why Paul lives in Assam now. When Martin calls him, he sees Paul standing in a new house inside. Martin asks, whose house is this? Paul says he bought it recently. While talking like that, Martin says one more thing to Paul. There is a person called Banshal nearby. He has an estate here. Martin said to Paul that's why he doesn't like us getting more orders in this estate. He had blamed me for you and this estate. His manager has talked to me a lot. He has been calling him for a while and asking him to arrange a meeting to meet Banshal. I don't want to see him at all. But Paul is telling Martin to go and find out what he is saying. So Martin has come to the office again. At that time, he is asking the boy who works there who came there and named Ram. You have a girlfriend, right? How do you surprise her? Ram says he once downloaded an app called Hidden Face on his girlfriend's phone without her knowing. You can access the camera through that. So he recorded her cute expression and made a video of it and gave it to her birthday. She was really surprised. Let Martin understand about the app from Ram. Martin watching all the tutorials on YouTube on how to use it. He downloaded the app on her phone that night without her knowing to make a video like that of Leena. Then he hid it. The next day, Martin came to the office. Using his laptop, he sees everything that Leena does at home through that application. After he goes to estate work, he cooks, cleans the house, and watches TV for a while. From that, he records all her favorite expressions. He was able to see the front and back camera of the phone through that app. After seeing it for a long time, he had a job, so he closed it and left. After that, he came again, sat in front of the laptop and turned it on. At that time, the manager of the person another called Martin. Manager gives Banishal to the phone. Martin first told the manager that he didn't want to meet Banishal, but Banishal bought the phone and forced Martin to come and see me one more time. Martin is talking while turning to the laptop side through the phone. At that time, there was someone near Leena at home. She is showing us who she is. Serving food and she is talking to someone. But Martin doesn't see any of this. By the time he looks back, Lena has gone away from that phone. He thinks she has left her phone there for a long time. So he closes that app. That evening, when he meets Banishal says to Martin, let his estate that is in loss be yours. Paul's estate grew so much after you came. But you are not getting any benefit from it. That Paul is just using you. If you come to my estate, I need someone like you. I will give you a good job. Martin said, but no matter how much money you give, I will not leave that estate. There was a reason for that. Martin's father Vincent and Paul's father Thomas were friends since childhood. They went to the Assam in search of a job together. During that time, my family met with an accident. My mother died in that. My father became paralyzed. After that, Thomas took care of him and his father. Thomas treated his father with a nurse. After a while, my father also died. Then Martin was 2 years old. After that, Thomas took care of me and brought me up. I got all the love I got from Thomas. Thomas and Paul. They are the ones who conducted my marriage with Lena. Lena was a Hindu and I was a Christian. I have a lot of bond with that family. So I don't want to cheat them and work with you. At night, Martin was trying to make a video with Lena's cute expressions. Lena didn't know any of this. The next morning, when he went to the office and turned on the app, he saw a man's hand and a cigarette. He had a doubt whether he felt it when he saw that hand move. After a while, he saw the cigarette smoke coming from there. He saw Lena coming there, talking to someone, and giving him food. He didn't know who. It was because the phone was on the table. He only saw Lena's face. He sent a message to her to take the phone from there. Martin said that rice is enough for dinner at night and sent that message to Lena. After hearing the sound of the message, Lena came and checked the phone. She didn't open the message. She read it and kept the phone there. He had a lot of doubts about what she was doing. After a while, she took the phone and sat on the sofa. She only replied that to his message was okay. He had a lot of doubts while eating food that night. Lena asked Martin. He was tensed and asked him what the problem was. He said that there were some problems in the estate. When he asked to her how your day was, she said it was the same as yesterday. After this, I finished cooking and cleaning at 11 o'clock and watched TV for a while. In between, I always fell asleep. When I woke up, I saw your message. He was suspicious at the night. He didn't sleep well. Next morning, he hurried to the office by car. You can also see him. He was tensed and running into the office, and when he was in the office, he opened his laptop. He opened the app. She herself was watching the phone. In between, she got a call from someone. She talked to him for a long time. Even though he turned on the audio to know what she was talking about, he had not turned on the permission to listen to the audio on her phone. So he couldn't hear what she was saying. As the person who was talking on the phone came out of her house, he realized what she was doing. She left the phone at the table and went there. Martin called her phone because she had been went for a long time. She was very surprised to see his call. She attended the call by telling the person standing in front of her not to speak. Martin told her to check if there were any office papers in his bedroom. She looked there and said that it was not there. He said that he will check here. She took the phone in her hand and told the person standing in front of her to leave as soon as possible. While he was checking the front and back camera, he saw a man's leg coming out of his house. Martin was sure that someone was coming to see her when he was not there. He took his old phone to find out who it was. He installed that app in it. He went to the shop and bought a new phone. He set up the camera in a way that connects everything in it. After she went to bed that night, he took her phone and gave audio permission to that app so he can hear her voice also. After downloading another app called Tin app, he made a setup in which he could see all her WhatsApp messages. Then he set up all the phones that he brought to see the dining area and the main door of the house. In ext morning, when he reached the office, he searched the whole house through that camera. In the meantime, a message from an unknown number came to her phone. He didn't recognize him even though he was seeing his photo. He reads everything they chat. When unknown person asked her what she was doing, she said to unknown person she just sit and relax. When unknown person asked which dress she was wearing, she said it was blue frock. When he asked to send a photo, she sent the photo immediately. Martin was angry after seeing all this. Unknown person was messaging her in a way that he was flirting with her. He saw the photo of her on WhatsApp and he said he will come Lina's home. He started talking to her by calling her honey. He said make food for him. After a while he came Martin's home. Then unknown person said to her talk about our plan and he is talking to her about their plan. If the plan is successful as we executed, everything will be set. So we have to plan a lot and do it perfectly. Whatever happens, I'm with you. So don't be afraid of anything. He asked her when she make the plan. She replied that she will tell him tomorrow. He said he expected a positive response and left. Martin couldn't understand what they were planning. At that time, Martin remembers everything. He met Lina. He met an orphan girl named Lina Mahadevan during his school days. Just like him, her grandfather took care of her when her parents died. Lina, who didn't talk much to anyone, was very close to Martin. She cleared his doubts and shared her lunch box. Wherever he was, she picked him. He thinks that if such a girl shows herself to him, she really likes him. That's why he openly tells her his feelings. But she says, I haven't seen you like that and you're only a good friend to me. After that, he could understand that her grandfather was transferred and she left. They hadn't seen each other for years. Martin met her again in Ooty when he was working for an estate in Ooty. Their friendship grew again. They went to shopping and spent a lots of time. Two people have no friend in Ooty. That old love was still inside him. That's why he decides to tell her again. Even when he asks Paul, he says it's better to tell her openly. So one day Martin says to Lina, anyway, you got married to someone, so what about if it's me? She agrees. She takes him to grandfather and introduces to him. So they get married with everyone's consent. The next day, Martin comes to his office and checks her WhatsApp messages. Today she has decided to tell her decision. They had decided to meet at some place at 3 o'clock. He sees everything when she is ready to go. Lina, who got into the auto, goes a little far somewhere. Then she goes to a broken house in the forest. When they reach there, they talk to each other about killing Martin. Unknown person said, if you want to kill your husband, you can kill him easily. But it's very difficult for me because anyone can find it. So you do it yourself. Al. So he said to her, don't overthink about that. She says she is ready to kill Martin. He gave her a small parcel. She bought it from him. He said mixed with dinner food at night he will die in morning. Martin knows that Lena has killed him and decided to go with unknown person. He is really going crazy. That night, he is dreaming Lena and unknown person are together killing him. He calls his friend and tells him that he needs a gun. In the morning, he went to see his friend with the help of his friend. He gives him a gun. And he went to office. After that he was watching Lena's movements. She gets into the auto and goes somewhere. He follows her by car. She goes back to the old house in the forest. Martin, who followed Lena, was listening to everything she and Lover were talking about. Lover asked to her why didn't kill Martin. She says she can't do it. He also sad. Lover says. Lover says, how long have we been planning? You just have to kill him. We can tell everyone that he went missing from here. I can kill my wife after 6 months. One day we will join together life peacefully. We will not face any problems. After that, we can live together somewhere, a home of our own. Also he asked to Lena did she wanted to live with a worthless guy wife or shall we start a fresh new life together? Saying so, Martin started to blame. Martin got angry. Inan started shooting at him. Then also he said to her, is he even a man? Why don't so much hesitate to kill him? When Martin started to shoot before that, Lena shot him. Martin was really shocked to see Lena kill him. At that time, she was getting a call on another phone. In response to that, she said, I killed him as you said. What should I do now? Leaving her out of that mess, she goes down the road and waits for someone. Martin is hiding and watching. A car comes and she gets into it. He was listening to everything they were talking with the help of that app. I did everything you said. He says that your job is over today. She says that you should delete that file when you have done everything you said. The person from the car said that I am not angry with you. You did everything I said. In the meantime, Surya came to create trouble and you had to kill Surya. Otherwise, I can free you. Surya had a copy of that file in his hand. Otherwise, we didn't have to be afraid of him. Martin didn't understand what they were talking about. He says you can do one more thing. You should clear Surya's dead body. After that, you are free. Lena, who agreed to that, turns out of the car. He sees that the car is about to leave from there. He saw the person from the car. That was Banshal. When Lena came back, she couldn't even move that dead body. She sat there and started crying. Martin quickly went there. She was stunned to see him. He asks to her what's going on here. Martin asked her, who is he? What was the relationship with him? HIW, did you know Bansal? Why did she kill him? Why you obeyed Bansal order? She doesn't say anything. Why did you talk about the file? Is it something related to you? He asks if it's some kind of vulgar video. She nods her head for everything. She nods her head when he asks if he blackmailed you. She nods her head when he asks if it's the video of the person lying here. She doesn't agree when he says, I want to see that video. In the end, Martin is stunned to see the video he got from her in anger. Because it wasn't Lena's video. It was Martin's video. In a hotel room, a girl named Mira who works in Martin's office is holding him. Later, there was a sexual scene between the two of them. But Martin says it's not him. Because this happened a long time ago when he went somewhere for an estate meeting. Even though she was holding him, I pushed her away. I'm not the man you see in this clipping after that. He says it's a honey trap. But Lena says everything I know. So I understood that before you said it. Because I know very well that it's not you. But the world will never believe it. If this video goes out, everyone will believe that it's you. Banshal contacted me first and left this Surya. He had a copy of it in his hand to show me. Banshal wanted you to close the estate you work in his estate. Bansal had to give him more money for that. I had to tell you this. But you are a person who is very sad even for small things. Even if you call someone you don't know, you think about it and get sad. I knew that if I told you something like that, you would be upset. That's why I decided to handle it myself. But in the meantime, Surya, who was a mediator, started blackmailing me without Banshal's knowledge. I didn't know that the woman with you in that video was his wife. He came in between to take the office file for Banshal. Surya forced me to get married. If I give file Banshal, Banshal will delete the video. But Surya had a copy of video it in his hand. He started blackmailing me with that. When I told Banshal about this, he told me to kill him. He told me to take care of the rest, so I had to kill him because I had no other choice. After hearing everything, Martin came home with her. Then he told her to forget everything that happened there. I'll take care of the rest. By the time he came the forest home in and took the dead body, he got a call from an unknown number. He cut it off. He took the dead body and put it in the car's dicky. When he said hello, no one was listening to him. After reaching another place from there, he took a pit and put the dead body in it. He got a call again. When he took the phone this time, no one was listening. He thinks all this is Banshal. After taking the dead body, he came home. While talking to Lena, he said, "Why did you tell Banshal about Surya and ask him for help?" Maybe Banshal himself told Surya to blackmail you to get married. Then Banshal planned to kill Surya with Lena and give us a trap. She said she didn't think much. Suddenly she remembers something. Banshal asked me to install an app on your phone. When he took his phone and looked at the hidden apps, it had the same hidden face app he installed on Lena's phone. Suddenly, he understood everything. Because when he took the dead body, when he put it in the dicky, when he took a pit, he got a call. He got that call to take the phone out. That means they have recorded everything. He took the dead body. He deleted the app suddenly. By then, the police had come in front of their house. He understood that he were trapped in a big trap. So he says to Lena, "No matter what anyone asks, you don't know anything. You just have to say." Martin walks away from there. The news about this was all over the TV the next day. They say they are looking for the dead body and they are looking for Martin. Martin asks his friend for a final help. Martin said to his friend, "You have to set up a car for him," and Martin says he hasn't killed anyone. Paul was watching all this news. That's when Martin calls him. Martin says he hasn't done anything. All this is Banishal. Paul doesn't believe him much. But he assures him that Paul will be back in 2 days in Ooty. Martin was watching Banishal all the time. He sees him following Banishal. When he follows Banishal in a house, Paul was there with Banishal. When he saw them laughing and talking together, He realized that Paul had joined Banishal. Paul was going somewhere from there. Martin follows him. He goes to a house far away. When he saw that house, Martin was really shocked. It was the same house that he showed when Paul did the video call. That means Paul has been here for a long time. It was all planned by him and Banishal. Paul enters the house and Martin also follow him. Paul didn't see Martin enters the house. Martin sees Paul drinking in a room. But there was another room next to it. He opens that room and goes inside. Everything that happened in his life was planned by Paul. It was all planned by him. Camera was connected in front of his house, office, estate, car, and phone. Paul was watching every movement of him. He hears all the voice messages incident in estate office sent by Ram to Paul. Ram also said to Paul about the hidden face app. Martin, who understood everything, goes out and sees Paul. Then there is a big fight between them. I understood that you did everything. Now you just have to tell me what it is. So Paul is telling all the truths. Martin's father Vincent and Paul's father Thomas were not friends. Thomas was the only employee in Martin's father's estate. It was your father who bought 3,000 acres of estate in Assam. He needed an experienced employee. That's how my father Thomas went to work. My father took good care of that estate. That accident happened to your family in the meantime. We realized the truth when your mother died and your father was bedridden. In that accident, your father is not a relative of us. So we played this game to steal all the property. Ratin said to Paul, if you did all this for the property, you could have killed me a long time ago, right? And you could have taken all the property, right? But Paul says there is a reason for that. Why? He asks what the reason is. Someone beats Martin from behind. That was Paul's father Thomas. Martin says that if you had asked, I would have written everything down. But he says it's easy to say like you said now. But when it comes to doing, it won't be that easy. Not only that, Thomas says that I was the one who killed your father who was bedridden for this property. Your father had a lot of wealth. So Thomas said, when I was born as a prince, but my father ruined everything by playing games inside. Your father was a way to get back all the lost money. So I killed him and took all that property. The police will come to arrest you in the name of that murder. Then he tells Paul to call the police. Upon hearing this, Martin beats him up and escapes from there. He goes straight to his friend and says that he has to take me to a necessary place. He doesn't agree at first. But in the end, he has to go with him because of Martin's compulsion. He was going to his old house. He is looking for a way to get something from there. While everything is going on there, his father gets a letter from a church in Assam. Upon contacting the father who sent the letter, he finds out a lot of truths that clear all his doubts in his mind. There was a reason why they didn't kill Martin for so long. Martin's father had written a will inside Vincent. In it, it was written that if Vincent dies, Martin has full right to all his property. That will was also in the church inside. Vincent had a lot of friendship with that church and their fathers. That's why he handed over all these things to them. But Thomas and Paul had not told Martin that the estate was in the name of Martin for so long. The church fathers had been thinking that he knew all that. If anything happened to Martin, all that property would go to the church. That's why they didn't kill Martin. Upon hearing this, everything became clear to him. At that time, his friend opens up a truth to him. He says, I didn't know you were such a rich millionaire. If I had known, I would never have cheated you. The police had come there last night. They went there with a CCTV. They had said that you should inform them as soon as you come. That's why I was sharing our live location with them all this time. The police will come here right now. He says to forgive me. After hearing this, Martin ran away from there quickly. But after running for a long time, the police caught him. Later, in the name of that murder, Martin goes to jail. He says to Lena, who came to see him in jail, I was in a mental situation for a few days. This was their plan. Torture me mentally. I have to be in this jail as a mental patient today. But he says that he will pay for all this. You have to find a good lawyer. You have to make arrangements of bail to out of him in jail. After that, there is a lot of planning to do. Lena says that she can take care of bail. Suddenly a policeman comes and tells her, Lena Thomas' visiting hours are over. You have to go from here. Martin was the one who heard that and shocked. Here is the biggest twist in this movie. He knows the name Lena Mahadevan. Actually, her name is Lena Thomas. She was Thomas' daughter and Paul's sister. She reveals the truth to him. She says that she is Lena Thomas. Her father's plan was she pretended to be an orphan. It was their plan for 25 years. There is a big deal behind that. Because in the will written by Martin's father Vincent, after his death, that property was written to his son Martin and his family. So even if Martin is not there, they plan for 25 years to seize that property. Lena was married to Martin. You lived the way we planned all this time. It will be the same over there. She says and leaves there. Martin was shocked to learn the truth. After a few days, his friend had come to jail with a plan to Martin out. He introduces Martin to a big gang leader in the jail. When leader asks him what he will get if he kicks him out, he says that he will give him 1,000 acres. First they find the Thomas people who give information about Martin. And they decided to follow Thomas. How did Thomas and his family have to work? They're planning. They realize that Thomas and his family are now in Mysore. Lena was traveling in a bike full time. The whole jail was under the control of that leader. He was doing a lot of things while he was there. They saw Lena traveling in a place through the camera in that jail. When she came out with a bike and bought something, there was a gift on top of her bike. The last day she came to see Martin, it was her wedding ring that she left there. There was a phone in the group. Martin calls her immediately. He says happy anniversary. Lena is really shocked. So he said this was the biggest surprise he gave to her after marriage. He cuts the call by saying that he is coming to avenge what they did to him. This movie ends here by showing Lena, who is scared. If you like the story of this movie, don't forget to like and comment. Comment below how the explanation was. See you later with a new video.